Hi, my name is Bowie. I use they, them pronouns. Welcome to our training sessions. Now, if you are new to training and new to moving your body or new to coming along and watching one of these videos, welcome. I hope you're going to have a good time and learn something new. If you are returning and you've done some of these videos in the past, welcome back. It's always good to have people who are interested in continuing to move their bodies or explore new things that they can do. But before we begin, I want to acknowledge that this video is recorded on the stolen lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. Sovereignty never was and never will be ceded, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I also want to thank Drummond Street Services and Queer Space for the support they give us to help us bring these videos to you so that you can keep moving while you're at home a bit more often or in whatever circumstance you may be in. Now let us begin. We are going to start with a warm-up. We're going to begin by moving our necks. We're going to work through our bodies, getting all of our joints moving. It's really important to get our joints moving. We stretch our muscles, but we forget our joints. So that's where we're going to start with our necks. So you're going to take your ear, bring your shoulders down, hands beside your legs, and you're going to bring your ear down to your shoulder on one side, and then down to your shoulder on the other side. And it's going to alternate, tilting as far down as you can go that feels comfortable. I'm going to go for 10. So that's 3. It's 4, just nice and slow. You might not be able to get too far in the tilt, and that's okay. Or one side is tight and one side is a bit looser, also very okay. And that's 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. Okay, take our chin now. We're going to point it up towards the roof, just gently reaching with our chin, and then we're going to tuck our chin down as close to our collarbone as we can. And we're going to look up, reaching our chin up, looking down. And we're going to go for 10 here as well. So that's 3, 4, 5. It's nice and slow. 6, 7, 8, it's 9, one more, that's 10. Amazing. Now we're going to take our chin and we're going to look to our right and bring it as close to our collarbone as we can. We're going to come back to center and we're going to do the same thing on the left. So looking left and right, keeping our shoulders as still as we can, and we're going to go for 10. So that's about 4, 5, 6, 7, it's 8, 9, one more each side, 10. Glorious. Now I'm going to move to our shoulders. Now I'm giving you 2 options because if you're someone who has tricksy shoulders that doesn't like to move in big ways, you're going to do a nice little shrug, leading with your elbow here, backwards and forwards. Now, if you are comfortable to move your shoulders in a bigger range of movement, you're going to take a straight arm, pass it back past your ear as close as you can, and around, keeping control here. And whichever way you choose, we're going to go 10 backwards, 10 forwards, both sides, starting with our right side, circling backwards. So shrugging or straight arm. And allowing a little bit of rotation in your hip here is totally fine. 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's it. And we're going to bring it forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8, 9, 10. Swapping sides. Yeah, same thing here, shrugging or straight arm circles, whichever feels better for you. Starting backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then coming forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we're almost there. Keep it slow. 8, keep it controlled. 9, and 10. Majestic. We're going to move to our elbows now. So you're going to bring your arms out to the sides. Palms are going to face up. We're going to bring our hands up around our fronts in a nice little circle. That's it. 3, 4, 5. Keeping your upper arms as level as possible. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to go back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Amazing. That one can be a little bit tiring on our shoulders. Moving to our hands now, or our wrists. We're going to tuck our elbows in at the sides. And we're going to circle our palms towards ourselves. We're going to go for 10. It's the magical number of this warm-up. And that's about 10. And then we're going to go back the other way. So you're going to push the backs of your hands away from yourself. Clicks and pops, if they're happening, are totally okay. Don't worry too much about that, as long as it's not painful. Moving down now to our hips. We're going to take our hands and we're going to put them on our hips because it gives them a job. You're going to bring your feet to a position that's comfortable for you, wherever that may be. I would say probably around hip width or a little bit wider is going to be the spot, but don't go narrower. If you bring your feet too close together, you're likely to tip over here. We don't want that. So you're going to push your hips forwards as far as you can. Push your hips out and around to the left. Stick your butt out at the back. It feels a bit weird. It's okay. Around at the side. Back to the front. That's one. That's one hip circle. So we're going to do 10 like this. Nice and slow. Nice and controlled. Making sure that our hips are doing the movement and our chest stays up nice and high, because it can trick our brain sometimes into thinking that our hips are moving, but really it's just our shoulders. Well, I think that's about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10, and then we're going to go back in the other direction. It's okay if they're not quite so circular and maybe a little bit more octagonal or a bit flatter on the corners. That just comes from tightness through our hips, and it's totally okay. That's about 5. Another 5 to go. 6, 7, it's 8, it's 9, and 10. Excellent. Bringing our feet together now, or just close together. We're going to dip our knees, place our hands on the tops of our knees here. Now, we should be able to hold ourselves up in this position. So if you're leaning too much weight on here and you take your hands away and you fall, you want to sit down in your legs a little bit more and get your legs to brace a little bit. Hands resting gently. We're going to bend our knees forward, push them out around to the right, straighten them up at the back, push around to the left. Just like that, nice little knee circles here. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we're going to go back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great. Finishing off with our ankles. We're going to do some ankle circles. So if you need something to balance on here, because we are coming onto one foot, feel free to use whatever is around to help you stabilize. It's totally okay. You're going to lift one foot up. We're going to start with the right foot. You're going to circle inwards. We're going to go for 10. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Swapping sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Amazing. Alrighty, friends. Now we're going to take it down to the floor to finish off our warm-up. So I will meet you down there. Here we are, friends. The floor. We're going to finish off our warm-up now by coming over onto our stomach. I'm going to bring the tops of our feet just to rest gently on the floor and bring our hands under the fronts of our shoulders. And we're going to really gently, pushing down with our hands, start to lift our chest up off the floor, using our hands to support that. And just coming back down, just nice and slowly, getting to a point that feels comfortable for you. You may feel some pretty intense sensations kind of in your back area here. That's totally okay. This one can really be quite a stimulating movement for our lower backs and cause some interesting sensations. Just slowly working towards straightening those arms. Doesn't matter if you can't get them completely straight, just wherever you can get to. That's it. Nice and slowly. Amazing. Coming up onto our hands and knees now. We're going to bring our knees to under our hips, or as close to it as what feels right. It can be a bit hard to tell sometimes when you can't see where you're at. So just as close to under your hips with your knees and under your shoulders with your hands as you feel comfortable to. We're going to arch our back up, tuck our chin down, and we're going to push our belly button towards the floor and look up. Open up and down. Up and down. That's it. That's 8, 9, and 10. Glorious. And we're going to finish off taking our hands, putting our palms down on the floor and having our fingers face our knees here. Now you notice I'm sat up quite high on my hips. I can increase this stretch by sitting back down towards my heels. So sitting down to whatever point you feel comfortable to allow a stretch up the front of this, or the inside of your arm there. And just whatever feels good for you. And we're going to hold here. We're just going to take a moment, keeping our shoulders down. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just allowing the stretch. This one, we don't always do many movements in these directions, so this one can be quite an interesting experience for our forearms, especially if we spend a lot of time sitting at computers and laptops and stuff like that. These muscles get quite tight. And that's it. And that's about long enough, so now we're going to flip it over. We're going to take the tops of our hands and we're going to put them down onto the floor. Fingertips again facing the knees. With this one, to increase the stretch, you can bring your hands away from your knees. But just getting to where you can get to with what feels good. If your fingertips are touching your knees and it still feels a bit too intense, you can just shift your hips up away from your heels a little bit, and it'll help with that. It'll ease off on that stretch. Again, we'll keep our shoulders down away from our ears here. And just focus on noticing where the stretch is. Feeling it up the outsides of our forearms. You might feel it up in the upper arm area, or in your shoulders even, or in your hands. We all feel it in different places. That's it. Holding for just a little bit longer. That's it. And coming up off the tops of our hands. Alrighty, friends. We are all warmed up. We are all ready to pop into our session. So if you need to have a sip of water, take a moment to catch your breath, and I will meet you back here. Here we are, friends. Round number 1. We have 3 exercises to work through. Now, I'm going to demonstrate them, but I want you to follow along with me because we're going to work through them together for the repetitions of each one as we do it. So starting with our first movement, we have 2 options here. So a base movement, but if you want to find a way to do it a bit more challenging, I'm going to give you that option as well. So we're going to start down on the floor with a single leg hip raise. So you're going to be on your back. You're going to tuck your knee up towards your body, or you can just hold it out, whatever works. And you're just gently gonna raise your hips up and down off the floor here, and then swap sides, of course. Just like that. Bring your hips up just high. You don't want to go try and bulge past, just to a point that feels comfortable for you. Now, if you want to feel a little bit more challenged here, we're going to do a single leg deadlift, which is essentially working all of the exact same muscles as we do on the floor there. We're just adding the extra challenge of standing. So one foot comes up off the floor gently, sitting back down and standing up. So whatever way feels good for you, choose that. And we're going to go 6 on one side, 6 on the other. So I'm going to demonstrate the standing option, but feel free to pop down onto the floor if that works for you. Let's go. 1. Making sure if you're standing up that you're sitting your hips right back. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then swapping sides. So on the floor, if you've done 6 on one side, bringing your opposite leg up, doing 6 on the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Nice. Moving on, we have a lateral leg raise. So this one here, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to be standing. Though you can lay down on the floor if you're feeling a bit uncomfortable, but I would say if you're unstable, just find a wall or a chair or something that you can hold on to keep you balanced here. And what we're going to do, we're going to bring our leg out just like so. We're going to do some circles here. And we're going to do 6 forwards and 6 backwards. That's it. And then back the other way for 6. And then we're going to swap sides. So it's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Making sure we do nice, controlled, slow circles. So starting forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Amazing. And finishing off with our diagonal knee to elbow here. So we're going to take our right knee and we're going to bring it up to our left elbow, and then we're going to swap just like this. And we're going to go for 10 alternating. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Done. That is 1 time through. We're going to work through this 2 more times now, just nice and slowly. We're not rushing. We want controlled movements, and slow movements are controlled movements. So starting from the top, either with your single leg hip raise down on the floor, or your standing single leg deadlift, whatever feels good for you. Try out both if you're feeling like it. Starting with our left leg, And let's go for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. 6. And swapping sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Amazing. Time for our leg circles now. Remember, finding that thing that you need to balance and hold with if you have to. We're going to circle forwards. 1, 2, 3, that's halfway. 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're going to swap sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Finishing off with our standing diagonal knee to elbow, starting with our left elbow to right knee. Let's go for 10, alternating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just one more time to get through, friends. Remembering, rest as you need here. You don't have to just work through from top to bottom continuously. If you want to stop, have a breather, have a sip of water, totally do that. Work at your own pace. I do not have any expectation for any person to do more than what they're comfortable with. So if you need to pause and you want to continue following, or just have a breather and watch me do some exercises while you rest. Either way, it doesn't matter. We're going to go through one more time, starting with our left foot, either doing our single leg hip raise or our standing single leg deadlift. Left foot is on the floor first. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Amazing. Swapping sides when you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more. 6. Amazing. Lateral leg raises now in our circular motion. Finding that thing to balance with. Right leg, we're going to circle forwards for 6. 1. Nice slow controlled circles. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's go back the other way. 1. Bringing your leg out as far as you can that you feel comfortable to. That's 4, 5, and 6. Swapping sides. Let's go forwards first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Whew. Good work. Finishing off. Last time through now. Diagonal knee to elbows. Left elbow, right knee. We're going for 10. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yes. 1 round down, 2 to go. Have a breather, have a sip of water, friends. We'll be back. We're back, friends, round number 2. We are down on the floor. So if you are not down on the floor already, meet me down here. We are going to do some arms and shoulder stuff now. Yes, don't miss out on the arm work. We're going to start. Now work through this with me, pals. We're going to start. You have 2 options here for a plank hand extensions. Now you can be from your knees, just like this, nice, long, stable body from your knees. Or if you're feeling adventurous, popping up onto your toes. Either option, make sure you're squeezing your butt tight. That is the most important thing here. Now we're going to work through 10 alternating hand extensions. So raising one hand up and then swapping sides. So when you're ready, find that position that works for you. You can have your feet a little bit wider if you're from your toes. Let's go. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Coming down. Nice. Moving on. We have tricep push-ups. Yes, we're going to work the backs of our arms a little bit here. Again, 2 options. Coming from your toes or from your knees. Whatever you feel more comfortable with, totally fine. If you're on your knees, just like that plank we just did, and if you're on your toes, just like that. Now the difference here is we're going to bring our hands a little bit closer under our bodies. So you can go right to a diamond underneath the center of your chest, or alternatively, just face your thumbs at each other and have your hands just inside your shoulders. But whatever you feel more comfortable to do. I'm going to make a little diamond here. We're going to go for 6 of these. So make sure you spread the rest of your hand out. You want as big of a base as possible. And remember, from your knees, from your toes, hands as close as you feel good about it. They don't have to touch in the middle. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Finishing off, what have we got? Blackboard, plank, hip raises. Yes. So back on our hands. We're doing a lot of hand work here, but that's okay. Rest as you need if your wrists don't get quite used to having a lot of pressure on them. Now this one, we're going to have our hands under our shoulders, and we're going to start in quadruped, which is on our hands and knees. You're going to bring your toes towards your body, and what you're going to do is push your hips up towards the roof, like this, and then come forward just to a tall plank. So you're going to lift your hips up, lifting with your butt here. Don't just push back with your hands. Do a push back, but at the same time, lifting your butt up towards the roof. That's it. And back down. And we're going to do 6 of these. 3, 4, 5, one more, and 6. And knees come to floor. Perfect. Now we're going to run from the top. We have 2 more times to get through. Remember, resting as need. This one you are on your hands quite a bit, and if your wrists aren't used to this sort of position, have a breather, give your hands a shake out, do some little wrist circles, and then go again. So let's go again. We're going to start with our plank hand extensions, either from your knees, from your toes. Even if you'd like to go from an incline, so from your kitchen bench or something like that, you can do this as well. Find that plank position and just lifting your arms up from whatever diagonal position you end up in. Alrighty, let's go. We're going to do 10 alternating left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Glorious. Giving ourselves a moment here. This one's a bit tough on our shoulders. We're going to go to our tricep extensions now. So remember, pushing up, tricep extensions, tricep push up. Backs of our arms, push up. Hands as close as you feel comfortable to have them. They can come right to the center and touch, or they can just be on the insides of your shoulders as opposed to in line with them. But work with where you're at and going from your toes or from your knees, whatever you feel comfortable. Even going from a bench again, bringing your hands close in front of you, going from the edge of your kitchen counter, your dining table, anything like that. Totally okay. We're just going to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Finishing off with our plank hip raises. So giving ourselves that moment. Hands are under our shoulders here. Knees are under our hips to start with, and we're pulling our toes up towards our body. Lifting our knees up. We lift our butt up into the air so it goes nice and pointy, points at the roof. And then we come forward over our hands into a tall plank. Let's go for 6. That's 2. 3. That's it. We're lifting with our butts and pushing with our hands at the same time. 4. It's 5. And 6. Coming down. We have just one more time to get through. Cruising through this one, friends. Give your hands a shake out. Have that moment. Remember, resting is you need to have a sip of water. You need to have a breather. If you don't want to do the last round, all totally okay. You don't have to. But when you're ready, we're going to start with our plank hand extensions. So hands come to under our shoulders, going from your knees, going from your toes, whatever you feel good about. Work with where you're at, pals. Even going from the edge of your counter, your kitchen counter, your dining table, anything like that. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice. Shaking it out. Next up, we have our tricep push-ups. Last time through. Only 6 of them to get through. Hands as close as you feel comfortable to have them. Going from your toes, going from your knees, going from the edge of a counter or a table. Find that spot that feels good for you. Hands as close together as you would like. Let's go for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Glorious. And we're going to finish off with our plank hip raises. Taking that moment, we're going to give our hands just a little bit of a break. Get some movement in there. Alrighty. On our hands and knees. Hands on our shoulders, knees under our hips. Toes pulling up towards our bodies. We're going to lift our knees up and push our butts up into the air. From here, coming forward into that tall plank. 2, we're going to do 6. So that's 3, 4. Remember, lifting with our butts at the same time as we're pushing with our hands. 5, one more. And 6. Well done, friends. That is our second round down. We have just one more to get through. So take a moment to catch your breath. Give those wrists a little break. Have a sip of water. And we'll meet you back here. Here we are, friends, our lucky last round. We are back down on the floor. So again, if you're not down here, come and join me. We're going to finish off with a little bit of back and core work here. So to start with, we're going to work these together as with the other ones. We're going to start with a tabletop pulse. So we want to be in this position, like we're casually sitting on the ground, like at the beach or something like that. Anyway, wherever you want to imagine being when you sit like this, this is how we're going to sit. But from here, what we're going to do is lift our butts up off the floor as high as we can and come back down. Ooh, just like that. We're going to go for 6. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Amazing. Keeping this sitting position, we're going to do a sit back, or it's like a sit up, but we're going to focus on the lowering down phase, not the sitting up phase. So we want to start here, sitting up, our chest as close to our knees as we can, and we really slowly, you can keep your hands on the tops of your legs here, slowly, as slow as you feel good about. We're going to sit back down. They want to use our leg to help us sit back up, or however you want to sit back up to this position. We're going to go again. Now we're going to do 6 of these, nice and slowly, working on lowering ourselves down. Slow as you can. Lowering. That's it. Sitting back up. This is halfway, this is 3. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. That's it. 3 to go. Squeezing your legs as tight as you can. You want to keep as much control as you can. 2 more. Last one. Oh, last little bit. And we're going to finish off now with a side plank. So coming onto our side here, you have 2 options. You can go from a bent knee here. Now you can do it from your elbow or your hand as well. I'm going to give you some options. Just like this, or just like this. Alternatively, if you want your legs out, just like this, or like this. So find whatever option works for you. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. That is not 10, but that is 10 seconds. Alrighty. From your elbows and knees, from your elbow and feet, from your knees and hands, it doesn't matter. Find that one that works for you. We're going to go 10 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I'm just holding nice and strong, nice and stable. That's the way. And coming down, nice, swapping sides. And doing exactly the same thing on our opposite side. When you're ready, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. And let's go. Keeping your hand as close to under your shoulder as you can. Keeping our hip nice and level here. And relaxing. Amazing. That is 1 time through. We have 2 more times to get through. So starting again at the top. Remember, taking a rest as you feel good about, so you don't have to run straight back into this. We're going to start with our tabletop pulse. So we're finding that casual reclining position again. And we're going to go for 6. Thank you, blackboard. Alrighty. Just lifting your butt as high as you can. You don't have to match my height. Just wherever you are at, totally okay. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 more, and 6. Amazing. Keeping the sitting position because we're going into our sit backs, our reverse sit-ups. So starting with our chest close to our knees, slowly lowering ourselves down, slow as we can. It's 1. Assisting ourselves to get back up to the top. We're not trying to sit back up here. We're only focusing on this sitting back. That's it. It's 2. Just 3. Doing well, nice and slow. 4, nice and control. 2 more. 5. Last one. 6. Well done. Coming into our side plank now, remembering whatever variation you feel good with, from your knees and elbows, knees and hands, toes and elbows, toes and hands, even trying out some different ones. Whatever's going to work for you. We're going to go for 10 seconds. So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, 10-second hold. Just find that spot that feels good. Just breathing through. Doing really well. And relaxing. Swapping sides. Going again. Remember, taking as long as a rest as you need in between each of these. You don't have to pop straight back in if you don't feel good about it. Then you go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. That's it. Relaxing. Nice. We have just one more time to get through here. We are cruising. Remember, just nice and slow. It's not about rushing through movements. It's not about trying to do as fast as you can. It's about working at a pace that feels good for you. So when you're ready, finding that seated position, just like we're a giant M. And we're going to raise our butts off the floor just as high as we can. For 6. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Great. Staying in the sitting position because we're going to go for our sit backs. Alrighty, nice and slow. They're probably getting a little bit faster. I know they are for me. The more tired our stomachs get, the faster they're going to get, but that's okay. Just making sure you're working with as much control as you can. So let's do this. That's 1. Remember, we're not sitting back up with any sort of use. We're just allowing our body to help us get back up so that we can focus on the sitting back. 2. That's it. This is the halfway mark. 3. 4. 5. Last one. Control. 6. Whew. Alrighty, we're going to finish off with our side plank. 10 seconds. Last 2 movements of the session, and then we are all done. So finding whatever position that feels good for you. Remember, knees and elbows, knees and hands, feet and elbows, feet and hands. Does not matter. It's all going to do exactly the same job. It's just about what you're comfortable with. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Just a 10-second hold. Don't forget to breathe. It happens. Holding our breath does not help our muscles. And relaxing. Swapping sides. Alrighty. Here we go. We're going to finish this off nice and strong. Finding that position. Setting ourselves up. 2, 1. Let's go. We've got this. We've all got this. We are powerhouses. And relaxing. Whew. That is it. We are all finished up. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I hope you got to challenge yourself a little bit, but still feel comfortable with moving in ways that you felt you were able to do. I really appreciate you popping in and joining me. We will have a live class coming up Thursday night at 6 o'clock where you can stretch. So if you're feeling a bit sore after this session, Thursday night is the night to pop in, friends. Stretch it out with me. I'll be live on Facebook Live in the free exercises for COVID-19 group. So if you're not a member, look that up. And I hope to have you join me then. And we will be back with another recording on Saturday morning as well. Get you energized and ready for the weekend. Alrighty, pals. Until I see you again, I hope you stay safe and have an amazing time doing the things that you do.